a 170-yard sand wedge. I played it.
Sure,
any questions here on anything? Big John's coming in. That wedge, I just wanted to show him. I want you to show him. I've seen you do this. Here's the thing. You got to have a little confidence to do this stuff too. But how do you get confidence? You practice. You understand?
Sometimes.
Well, but he's got some great touch, and he goes a little higher than most of us. But he, you watch. He can do more stuff with one hand than most people can do with two. You know, when it comes to hitting balls, this is what he does. Okay?
Oh, gee whiz.
Well, you hear Lee talking about the left arm, and the reason I started doing this, I got a little older, about 2000. Body didn't feel quite as good as it used to, and I wanted to go from a draw to a cut because the balls were getting harder, the balls were going further, and I couldn't control the draw as much, so I went to a cut. And stood out one day and kept hooking these 8-irons and 9-irons, just hitting it like crap. Let me get my wedge, and I went out and just started hitting one-arm wedges, like with an L wedge and flop shot and all that stuff. And I felt this forearm here getting a lot stronger, which if your left arm's strong, you can work the club any way you want, like Lee was saying. So wow, my left arm's stronger, so it's going to be easier to hit a cut. So I just started doing this, and it actually helped the tempo of my golf swing, because if you've ever seen me play, my swing's just a little past parallel. So when Lee was talking about deceleration, he's right. You don't want to decel, but I do this drill just so I don't, decel. And I practice it a lot. I don't hit them all solid, but that left arm is going just like Lee said. Like up against that board. That's where I want to finish. And that left arm is right there, ahead of the ball on the club, and that's where you want it. And that's how you create the bounce and the shots that Lee was telling you. Like sometimes I can get a little flopper. I got the 54 here, but no, I just like to chip and chip this way, and it's all about this left arm getting through the club and not decelerating, like Lee really pointed out, which I thought was great.
Now, where we get this from, and the reason that he and I both are magicians with the golf club. I hit a shot the other day, and my caddy will tell you this was Pro-Am. Yesterday it was. On 15. Yeah. No. On 15, I was up by the tee markers, and there was another tee 53 yards. And there's a tree on the left. So I said to the guy, I said, I can take my driver. I said, I can take my driver and hit a high cut. I said, over that tree and to that marker. He said, what? I said, I can take this driver and hit a high cut. I hit it 3 feet. If I'd have stood there with a wedge with 100 balls, I'd have never hit it 3 feet. But here's what I did to it, and this is what I brought this up. Is John and I are like range, we call them range rats. And that's what we came from golf courses that we'd go out to the range, and we would clean up the side of the ranges with one golf club, and we would hit balls to one area. So it was always a different shot. But I stood there with this driver, and I sat there and I went, but yours is too strong for me. See, mine is almost 12. But I took this thing way up like this, and I hit it about 3 feet.
All right, John, hit the driver.
You're so young. Well, I used to play a par 3 course with a bottle, Dr. Pepper bottle, and the longest hole was 100 yards, the shortest hole was 55 yards. And the longest hole was about from here to that green over there, and I had it taped. It was way back in the 50s, it was real thick. You remember that Dr. Pepper bottle? It was the big one. I tape it and I put a glove on the right side, on my right hand, and I'd throw the ball up, boom, and I'd hit it. And I could hit it about 100 yards. And I used to gamble on that thing because I couldn't play nobody would play me with clubs. And I never lost a match with because I would take the tie. They'd say, well, you're going to play with that? I said, yeah. What do you want? What handicap is it? Yeah. I said, I'll take the tie. If I tie you on the hole, I'll win. good. And I'd lay the bottle down this way and putt with a butt. Shit, I can putt better with that than I can with my putter. And yeah, I used to use it all the time. I want you to hit a couple of drives for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's do it. We can do it.
Goodness.
Well, he's got to get limbered up.
Oh my
Now,
goodness.
John, you'll notice the backswing. He's always
Still
been
going?
able to take the club way back. John's very supple. In other words, he can turn his body more than most people. Used to.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
Oh, baby.
Wow. Yeah. And you know what? And he's lost 50 yards.
I don't think so.
No, he's lost 50.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's lost a good 50.
John, pick up those 50.
Yeah.
No.
They're all right here, baby.
He picked them up. Plus. Now you see that driver that he has there. You know, see, he all his grips. See, these are not mid-size. These are jumbo-size grips. Number one. Number two, that driver is not 45 inches long. It's shorter, and he controls it better. You see. What is it? 44. I was going to say 44 and a half. Yeah, I can feel it when I picked it up.
It does make a huge difference. When you shorten the club, the one thing most of you don't realize, you've stiffened the golf shaft when you shorten the club. So it stiffs up and you may start hitting things a little right. The longer the shaft, the more you hit it left. And like Lee was saying earlier, the long drive guys were 57,
52 inches long.
Those are long drive guys. That
Oh, yeah.
hit it, and they've knocked that down to 52 now too.
Yeah.
So, but the longer the shaft, the more whippy the shaft should be, the more with tendency, if you're right-handed, to hit the ball left. The stiffer the shaft, you know, is the shorter the club. The club gets stiffer. Now we have S3 wedges. I have S3. It's a very weak shaft, but when it's that short, it's still pretty stiff.
Right.
So, something to think about when you're playing. But I've always been a guy that tries to swing the golf club, the takeaway especially like a wedge. And Lee is so right. That is, to me, the most important club in the bag, because y'all hit 18 greens every time you go play. No, we don't either. So, and you know, to get up and down in certain places that we do to win tournaments and stuff, that we go to that. That's our number one priority, because nobody wants to put a 5-footer when you should have chipped it to a gimme, right, or chipped it in. That's the way we think.
Yeah. Well, you know, I did a survey once and talked about it, and I said, if you really look at the tour, the average greens hit per round for 156 players is 14. Some will hit 18, 17, 16. Some will only hit 9. But the average is usually around 13.5 to 14 greens. The average birdies, if you look, that's made by each individual on the PGA Tour, again with 156 people, is just less than 4. Now, all that tells you is who wins. The guy that keeps them. And the guy that keeps those birdies is the guy that can use a wedge. That's why Mickelson, if you look at Mickelson, he can't drive it in a 40-acre field. But I'm going to tell you something. That guy's 48 years old, and you don't want no part of him. He can still play like hell. And he's a putter, but his wedge game is. And you know what? He wasn't gifted with it. He learned that. He worked, in other words, to get to where he was with that. And he's not bad with that putter either. You know, the driver he's a little weak with. He's always been weak. And I always talk to Callaway about it. I says, how can you get him to do a commercial with a driver when the man can't hit a fairway? They got Champ now, though. They got Champ now. You know, they got that boy Champ on there now. Callaway. Oh, Lord, does he hit it long. Huh? Oh, my God. He's going to play Augusta this year. He may be chipping back. He's going to drive it over 3. He'll drive it over number 3.
Yeah.
He'll drive it over 3. He'll fly all the trees on 18.
No, he's long. I played with him in Safeway.
He is long. He is really long. And you know what? It doesn't look like he's swinging very hard at it. Yeah. Questions? We will answer your questions.
What do you do with your sign when you drive Junior? What's the best thing that you've given him as far as like your advice? Future?
Trust fund. Trust fund. I get know if they just keep doing it. If they, well, I'm 79. I know my boy treating me all right. I tell you.
Thank you. No, he doesn't. I taught him the grip and taught him some things when he was real little. He started playing with you too, and now I let the coaches do all of it.
Oh, so you don't really do much coaching, or you just?
I mean, I do. If it's but for Little John and me, one thing we've been lucky is ball position.
Oh, good.
I mean, there's two things for me: is ball position and the pace of my backswing. Other than that, if that's flowing, I feel like I'm gonna have a pretty good day.
So you have a lot to be proud of.
Yeah, and he's kind of the same way though, and he's so gifted around the greens that.
You have any kids?
You were with me last year.
Huh?
Three.
They don't listen to you, do they? Do they listen to you?
No.
No. What the hell? Why? You looking?
Yeah, I get that out of my son. Hey, I'll go watch him play a tournament. He might not play good. I said, you just weren't finishing your backswing.
Oh, yeah,
And the
Dad.
next day, I say, hey, Dad, Nick told me I wasn't finishing my backswing. He helped me out. Thank y'all for being out here. I want to introduce somebody.
John,
Major Ed.
do you ever think you'll go back and try Niagara Falls again?
No.
Where? Niagara Falls.
Hitting it over.
Hitting it over Niagara Falls.
Oh.
I hit the rock.
You hit the rock.
Hit the rock. You're close.
Yeah.
You were close.
Oh yeah.
But the reason we do this, and I'm a proud wingman for Folds of Honor. I want to bring a very special guest. I can't thank him enough for everything that you do, and especially for our country, what you guys did. Is McBee here? 24 years. Come on, McBee. McBee's a 24-year SEAL, so you don't want to mess with him.
Go B!
You're official wingman for Folds of Honor today, by the way.
Well, we want to say thank you to all of you on behalf of Folds of Honor, Major Dan Rooney, the F-16 fighter pilot. He's a PGA golf professional, my hero, my friend. Thank you for supporting the Folds of Honor, which provides the spouses and children of the fallen and wounded educational scholarships. We've awarded over 20,000 scholarships, raised about $110 million. Our motto is honoring the sacrifice, educating the legacy. We will never leave a family behind on the field of battle, so help us God. And we actually have a family here, and I want to make sure that I get these names right, and I want to introduce them to you because it's very important. And me and McBee, we understand that, you know what, when we go fight for you, you know what, we may lose limb, we may lose lives, but you know what, when we take the oath of office to defend the greatest nation in the world, we always know that it's about God, country, family, and all of those that serve in the armed forces of the United States of America to protect you, the American people. So it is in that spirit that I'd like to bring this family up for you guys to recognize them because they paid the ultimate sacrifice. And Miss McCain, Sergeant First Class McCain, lost his life. And we have his family here, and they're all Folds of Honor scholarship recipients. And we have Brianna, Ashlyn, Chloe sick, correct, and Wyatt. But this is what it's all about in this clinic. And John, the work that you do, me and McBee couldn't thank you enough for always taking care of us and loving us and making sure that, you know what, that we take care of these families. And I've been with Major Dan for 11 years, and to me, this is what it's all about. You know what, I'd lose my life for the greatest nation in the world, United States of America. So,
Hoorah!
Yes.
Ashley.
Thank you so much for all the generous donations to Folds of Honor. It gives us the opportunity to go to school. It allows us to know that our father has been sacrificed isn't forgotten, and it lets us know that we're not left behind, and it gives us a better life in the future. Thank you.
All the veterans that come up, we have coins for you, and I'd like McBee to just kind of say in a couple minutes, just share who he is and what it's all about. He's one of our Navy SEALs, and not to steal his thunder, but knows my good friend and our good friend Rob O'Neill, and he served with him, and this man is the true deal. Ladies and gentlemen, Navy SEAL Rob.
Thank you very much. You know, being in the SEAL team for 24 years, we've seen a lot, especially in the last 2 decades. There's a lot going out there, and the biggest thing is a lot of lives are being lost. Okay, and a lot of people, you know, there is a lot of force banter that goes along with all that. But in the end, we're all one team, and it's all one fight. You know, because all of us here that serve, we die, we're dead. And for me, when I came back, in every deployment we came back, we always lost somebody. You know, and that was a big thing for us, was my friends and my family. So now that we're out, it's like, you know, when you're there, you're protecting your buddy. All right, you always got that Overwatch, right? That's the mission. Like the mission when we're overseas is everyone comes home alive. We don't always do that. And so now that I'm out, that mission is still for me to make sure I still take care of the families, because we lose them. All right, it's not a game. It's real life. And for me, it's dead serious. And so the best thing I do is channelize all my talents, everything I've done, to make sure those families are taken care of when they get back. So I thank all of you for being here. Thank Major Ed, JD, Lee Trevino. Thanks for everything